Rachel Maddow offers one of the weakest ever defenses of Joe Biden fitness for office. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyone can fact check her on her excuse. It's ridiculous. So we can talk a little bit about that. This great article by my homie Jeff Charles from Red State. Um, I'm going to talk a little bit about this article, but before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Democrats and their close friends and allies in the activist media have been in full-on spin doctor mode ever since special counsel Robert Hur released his report regarding President Joe Biden's alleged mishandling of classified documents. I mean, it is so crazy watching everything fall apart for the Dems right now. I mean, he is literally deteriorating in front of everyone's eyes, and then the media, a lot of the media is trying to act like it's not happening. It's just crazy. But predictably, the special counsel refrained from recommending charges, but the rest of his report was quite damning when it comes to the issue of Biden's age and cognitive problems. Now, the left is doing its best to assure the nation that the president is still fit for office, despite Hur's contention that he is an elderly man with a poor memory. The MSNBC host Rachel Maddow attempted to mitigate this revelation in one of the most bizarre ways possible during a Thursday conversation with co-host Chris Hayes, who described how Biden's age is increasingly becoming an issue. Hayes says age is a central narrative question here that this all revolves around in terms of its political repercussions. The way the news happened today, the questions being asked him by multiple figures there. The co-host also pointed out that that Biden's age and mental acuity are issues that former President Donald Trump team can exploit to its advantage on the campaign trail. In response, Maddow offered a tepid defense of the president, noting that the president rides a bike. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So watch this out. Check this clip out.
That, along with the standardness of I don't recall, is the standardness of prosecutors and or litigators being annoyed by it. And part of the peak that you read in it is that peak, right? I mean, he's frustrated and angry that he didn't get more. Yeah. But the other thing, you mentioned this, we should just be clear here, right? Like, age is the central narrative question here that this all revolves around in terms of its political repercussions, the way the news happened today, the questions being asked him by multiple figures there. And in the end, what makes it such a useful political tool for people that want Donald Trump to be elected or want him not to be reelected is that the fact of his age is not something you can rebut. Mm-hmm. You can't tack to, if someone says you're too far left, you can tack to the center. The man is 80 years old.
He rides a bike.
But he is the age he is, and so it's a very useful political attack for that reason.
Let's bring in NBC News White House correspondent.
I mean, that's her. He rides a bike, so. But the bad part is, look at this clip here. We'll show the clip of him falling off the bike in a minute. But this is probably the worst defense Maddow could have used during this segment. It is highly unlikely that her audience forgot the footage showing the president falling off his bike in 2022. How many memes we seen with this? But in fact, when the president is taking a dive off his bike, he is typically falling up the stairs. I mean, so many memes about this. But check this out right here. He rides a bike. Yeah, here you go, riding a bike. Y'all remember this? It's hilarious. But the current debacle is a result of Hur's report, which essentially argued that Biden should not face criminal charges because he did not mean to mishandle critical documents. So because he didn't mean to do it, you don't get any charges. But his office's final analysis contended that Biden's poor memory was the reason he failed to handle the documents properly. Y'all know I went over this before, but it gets better. Why is Biden getting the pass? He's an elderly man with a poor memory. So, quote, we have also considered that a trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury as he did during our I guess they meant our interview with of him as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. The report states, based on our direct interactions with and observations of him, he is someone for whom many jurors will want to identify reasonable doubt. It would benefit it would be difficult to convince a jury that they should convict him. I don't think it would. But by then, a former president well into his 80s of a serious felony that requires a mental state of willfulness. I've never seen, a mental state of willfulness. That's just crazy. But, quote, Mr. Biden's memory was significantly limited both during his recorded interviews with the ghostwriter in 2017 and in his interview with our office in 2023. This is devastating. Biden cannot even remember when he was vice president or even within the past several years when his son died. This is pitiful. And this is why Biden keeps saying that his son died from, he says he'll talk about his son dying in the war, but his son really didn't die in the war. His son died from cancer, and he don't even remember that. It's crazy. But the president and his team have pushed back on the idea that he has memory problems, but the damage has already been done. The fact that Maddow had to put forth such a weak defense seems to indicate that her investigation will cause more damage to Biden's chances of being reelected than was expected. Democrats are currently circling the wagon, but this report will likely be damning nonetheless. Thanks for that article, Jeff Charles, the great Jeff Charles. Because it's just funny watching her try to cape for this man. He rides a bike. So that makes everything okay. But then when you show that he can't ride a bike, what are you gonna do now? So someone needs to send Rachel Maddow that clip. Someone needs to send Rachel Maddow this clip right here of Biden riding a bike. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.